Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Dave and we got Tiffany with us again today, like every single Thursday. Dave just got back from the Caribbean. He's going to tell us a little bit about his trip there. Tiffany's going to talk to us about her classes. But hey, right now, gang, let's take a moment and think about Phil Freeman. He got in a car accident last night, and we hope and pray that Phil's doing good today. It was weird to not see the morning briefing this morning, and you know, we all love Phil. He's been a part of my life since the 80s. So, Phil, good luck. Hope you feel better. Got rear-ended by a car last night, and he's going to be sore for a while, but he's going to be all right. He is going to be all right.
Good. We care about that man. He's a good man, and
he's a good dude.
He's good for the industry and all of us in it.
Absolutely, David. He did a ton for us. He was our code group back in the day, and it's always good to take care of the industry, and he has taken very good care of the industry for a very long time. So we hope you feel better, Phil. And all right, gang. So today is fishingbooker.com. Thursday, we always talk about Fishing Booker and how you can book a trip anywhere in the world. So we'll show you a little bit of a commercial a little bit later in the show, but I just want to let everybody know that we can't do this show without our great sponsors, and Fishing Booker is one of the great sponsors of the show. So we'll show you guys a little commercial a little bit later on in the show. But David, tell us a little bit about your trip. What was it like? How cool was it?
Cool is not the word.
Okay.
Hot would be more the word. Yeah, it's a sort of a how much can you sweat in a few days? No, I went on a work trip. I was working to Turks and Caicos Islands in the Caribbean, and fascinating place, beautiful place. I'm trying not to say it's an overpriced tourist destination, but it sort of is. But while I was there working, I was out on boat, and there was a hurricane brushing the Caribbean. And where I was at, it was designated a tropical storm. So I was in howling winds, tall seas, pelting rain, and I thought, well, being here, at least I'm not cold. At home, I'm usually like this, and it's cold too. So that's a plus. And the term came to mind that this is sort of like a hot sauna workout. And that's pretty much what it was. But the job went well. I got done what I needed to get done. And now since then, I'm busily writing a report on it. And so I'm back, and I'm kind of glad to be on the West Coast weather again.
Right. It's kind of bitching here right now. Yellowfin tuna are biting. Bluefin are on the bite. Calico bass are on the bite. Sea bass are biting. What else? Oh, halibut are biting. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Oh, this is this is our best of the year along the coast here. There's until that first North Pacific storm comes in, and as long as in this season, we got the hurricanes periodically down south. I understand you're being impacted by one shortly, and those come off into the Pacific, and they drive those northward swells towards us, and it pumps warm water in here, and this is the time to get out there a little further offshore. Those places I like to look for seamounts, underwater seamounts, and because those drive current breaks from upwelling that are phenomenal, and they'll attract kelp patties and all of that, and those big long current breaks with kelp patties along them are like highways for the fish. The predator fish know, and they work them, and it's like a fast food stops along a highway for them. This is their time of year. They go have fun, go fish.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, JT Valentine, you may ask a question. You can ask any question you want as long as it's a good question. We'll answer it. But you're absolutely right, Dave. This is the best time in Southern California as we always see, the hurricanes, the warm water, and we had a phenomenal season as it was. I mean, the sand bass fishing was just off the hook this year. We hadn't seen sand bass fishing like this in a very, very long time. And we're very blessed to have all this other stuff going on with the halibut. Can you remember consistently a time, David, in your long career of halibut this good?
Halibut is just getting better and better as we go. We're doing good management, and it's just good conditions for them. And Captain, you mentioned sand bass, right? And there's been such fisheries management concern about sand bass. Where did they all go? Oh no, we need to stop fishing for them. We need to reduce the bag limit. And with a fantastic season for sand bass, you'll notice that not all of these sand bass are little babies that just got born. These are sand bass that have been alive and fine and reproducing the whole time. They're just not always here. They are often elsewhere. So reducing a bag limit here is not impacting, it's not helping the fishery. It's not hurting the fishery. It hurts us.
Yeah.
Especially the sport boat fleet and charter operators. It hurts us. But, when they only do a stock assessment here and the fish aren't here, it looks like it makes it easy for people to go up to the microphone at the PFMC meetings and say, hey, these fish are in such trouble. Look at these local stock assessments. And we need to make them understand, well, yeah, you're not seeing them here because they aren't here. They are, but they aren't here. They will be back when conditions where they're at are not ideal at the moment, and they will come up here to see if conditions are better.
Right. And to think that they want to tell us, they being the commission, that this is not a migratory fish, where people that have done it for a living know this is a highly migratory fish. It disappears from our waters. Now, we have the resident sand bass, but these sand bass that we had here in the summertime, these were great big male white bellies that don't live here. They migrate up into our areas and then hang out for a couple of months and then migrate back down into, I'm sorry to say it, but they migrate back to Mexico. That's just the way it is. It's been that way since the beginning of time. Now, they use stock assessments that we don't even know where they came up with them, because they didn't ask anybody that knows anything about fish. They didn't ask anybody. They went and they made these stock assessments, and we could go on and on and on about that forever. I don't want to get too fired up, but yeah.
We got a surprise person that just walked in here. I have to have everybody say hello.
Hey, Daniel, what's up, buddy?
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, bud. We're doing good.
Daniel.
Came up here to drop some gear off to Tiffany here to poke around at, and I'm just going to sit here and listen to the show here with her.
Perfect.
Would that include any ReelQuick seats?
It sure does.
It sure does.
Five more to be exact.
5 more.
Yeah, 5 more rods. So we're going to be having 10 ReelQuick and 2 bamboo tips. For
Perfect.
The first, yeah, let me do that.
Perfect.
Well, good to see you, Daniel.
Carry on with that the white belly sand bass stuff.
Oh yeah, it's real, and we're looking at right now, David. We're under attack every single day. I mean, I got people telling me about this and about that, and the bait. I just can't even believe we throw over 75% of the bait that we catch, but yet they want to stop us from fishing for live bait. It's just absolutely amazing. Let me show you guys what I got coming on to Cabo here so you guys can see what we're talking about. This is Tuesday, gang. Look at that.
Oh,
There's a whopper. There's a whopper. That's coming in on Tuesday. Now, if it just makes a little tiny turn, all it's got to do is go 5 or 6 degrees to the right, and I'm in a big trouble.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a tracking line. I don't know what direction it's going. I assume it's going kind of west northwest.
Yeah, and then it cuts across the peninsula when it gets up above by Mag Bay. Then it drives straight across the peninsula.
Oh, does it? Oh,
that's where I'm at. I mean, that's my house right there. So we will see. This should be the last one of the season, gang, but it'll make you stand up straight. It'll definitely make you think about every day up to Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be an absolutely unbelievable day.
And that storm or hurricane is going to be driving some waves up here and pumping warm water up towards southern and central California. And hey, things will be popping up here. It creates some havoc, but it also has some benefit to it afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy that you guys are going to get to reap the benefits, but oh my God, we've had so much rain down here in Cabo in the last 2 months. It's just been unbelievable. Unfortunately, they don't want to show everybody all the devastation, but there has been mass devastation down here as far as bridges washing out. The Baja Peninsula itself has been hammered from Loreto on down to Cabo, and it's just the road is thrashed. The bridges are wiped out. It's just a giant flipping mess, and it looks like we're going to get one more before this is over.
JT Valentine asked a question, but I'm not sure who it was for. If it's for my dad, I could probably answer that for him. And it's, what is your favorite and least favorite thing in the world? Could be anything. I think the favorite thing in the world is when I was 14 and got grounded for life because he's had me side by side with him all through chartering.
Yeah, that worked.
Yeah. My dad had me on the boat, and he fired me at 19 years of age, and he was the captain, and he fired me. We had 60 people on the boat, and I went down in the galley and I just started drinking because I didn't work there anymore. So,
knowing your dad, I can imagine how that went.
Oh, it went really, really well. It went really well. What the hell are you doing? I don't work here anymore. I can drink. I'm like, he jerked me back out on that deck so fast.
Yeah, right. Were you over 3 miles out, so you were not in state waters anymore?
Wide open barracuda bite. Oh my God. Yeah. I never forget it. But yeah, I think that he just wanted to ask that question because he has some hidden agenda. I don't know what it is, but obviously he doesn't either. But oh wait, what's next Saturday? Oh, you're gonna be here next Saturday? Next Saturday I will be in California. Okay. Yep, Tuesday. It hits on Tuesday.
Jeez. Yep. That's probably my dad's worst favorite is Ma Nature at her worst when she's ornery.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. And you're over it.
Living through it can be challenging, but, the memories. I mean, like where I just got back from, Turks and Caicos Islands, that was pretty wild, but great memory. All you got to do is live through it, and it's a great memory.
That isn't even going to affect your cruise, Matt. You're going to be down here on Saturday. You're going to be in Ensenada on Sunday, and you're going to be home on Monday, and it doesn't even come to Cabo till Tuesday, so it's got nothing to do with you.
Be safe, Captain Dave. Be safe.
Absolutely. You know what? When we moved down here 6 years ago, first thing I did was get the biggest generator that they made, portable generator, and then I hardwired it to my house. So my neighbors hate me because whenever there's a power outage, we turn on the generator instantly, and we got power. It powers the whole house. All 4 air conditioners, the refrigerator, the freezer, the internet. We are styling. It's just louder now. It's super loud, but oh well. We're
We don't
styling.
have that up
Oh,
here.
wow.
Hopefully you don't need it this go around, and
Yeah.
hopefully that storm pushes just a little bit to the west, just a little more to the west, and you'll be good.
Yep. We hope so.
And then, yeah, reaping the benefits of pushing that yellowfin up a little closer to us, maybe. And then maybe a couple more good days of surfing for me that I got last week on that last hurricane swell.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to talk about?
I would love to know.
You know, and I appreciate you letting me, when I come on here most weeks, sort of, you give me my lead and you let me kind of wander off in the direction I sort of feel like going at that time. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Freedom,
You're welcome.
you know?
It's an honor to have you on here every week.
What I want to talk about, because I've been thinking about it this week, is the advantage to fishing with a custom built rod. Now, whether you build it yourself or you had it built, or maybe you just saw it and said, oh, I got to have it, you know? And we've seen a lot of that. You know, Tiffany has had so many rods in tackle stores and whatnot. And sometimes somebody comes up and, well, they just fall in love with it. You know, that's a good reason. But, you know, I am not going to badmouth factory rods. Not at all. So a lot of these people they have good materials, good rods. They have factory wrappers and they put them together, and I'm not going to badmouth those. But there's a feeling when you're fishing with a custom rod. There's a feeling of trust, but your focus also shifts a little bit. With a factory rod, you know, you're kind of thinking about that fish and how to fight it and hoping that rod's going to let you do that. When you're fishing with a custom, you know more about that rod. You know what it was designed for. And you can apply that knowledge instantaneously to the battle you're engaged in right now with the fish. And maybe before the battle with the fish, you can use what you know about that rod to get bit where you might not otherwise get bit, because maybe you know that you need to cast, you know, an anchovy that's only that big out as far away from the boat as you can before you can get bit. And so you have a rod built to let you do that. And so you have a really good idea of what you can do with that rod to, one, get bit, and before that, what you can tie on there that's going to be appropriate and safe and not snap a rod tip or something like that, because, you know, you have a rod that's built for a 2-ounce lure, and you just put a 6-ounce lure on there and tried to cast it. You know, it's a little hard on rod tips, but you know what that rod is designed for. You do that, it gets you bit more than a factory rod. Really, I'm going to say it. It gets you bit more than a factory rod. And then once the battle starts, you know how that rod was designed for the battle, and you can apply that to how you go about fighting that fish. So, you know, confidence, it's a combination of knowledge, confidence, and trust. If you built that rod yourself, it's the ultimate situation. Because now you are also doing your own product assessment. You know, did I do this exactly the way I wanted it to? Did I have the right thing in mind? You know, no, you know, I built it for a little heavier thing than I have to cast, and now I need a little lighter one. That's going to be the next rod that I build. So if you build it yourself, it's even the best. And speaking of that, I'm going to mention that Captain Tiffany has her 15-week master rod building class starting up in 2 more days. 2 more days. And she can get you in on this class. She's got a lot of good folks in there signed up already, but she doesn't mind taking a few more. And she likes people. And so the last chance to go to vaguerods.net and sign up for that class. Then you'll be able to build your own custom rod, not just for yourself, but she also kind of teaches you how to be in business and build them for other people and have your own like main gig or sideline too.
Yeah, and something I wanted to say is I don't know about anybody else, but when I tie flies, because I'm a fly fisherman too, and when I go out on the river and I throw that fly in the water and I trick that trout into eating, there's just something that's a little bit better about it than when I'm tying on a factory tied fly or mass produced flies, even though they're tied right. When I tie my own fly and go out there in the river, it's a little bit bitching. And I think it's the same thing with I've never, to be perfectly honest, I've never wrapped a rod. I had other things I needed to do in my life besides wrap a rod. I had to get high and stuff like that. But I'm sorry. I'm sober now, 38 years, but I'm telling you, I spent those years of my life not doing what I was supposed to do. And I should have been wrapping rods instead of wrapping other stuff. But
Well, I'm far better at wearing them out than I am at building them. But this is an advantage to grounding your daughter when she's 14 for life. And then here she is building rods for me. It works.
So you guys, it's that thing about doing it yourself from start to finish. I think you'd get a better idea of that feeling if you built the rod yourself, maybe a little bit less if you went to a rod wrapper to build it for you, but you kind of get the same thing. But I'm going to equate this. When I leave the harbor, if we get bait at the bait barge, it's usually pretty bad in Channel Islands. I really have a good time going out with no bait, finding the bait, finding the fish, catching the fish, doing the whole thing from start to finish, even though it costs us fish sometimes because we don't get the bait always. But I think that feeling's kind of the same thing of taking things from the start to finish.
True.
Yeah.
True. Hey, Creek Seeker Fishing asks an important question. Where is this class?
right.
Referring to Tiffany's class. And the beauty of the answer is that it's online. So anywhere in the world, as long as you got internet access, you can take this class. It's online and it's interactive.
Yeah, so it's a live class. Like my dad said, you can be anywhere around the world you want to be. You sign up for the class. It's on Zoom, and I walk you step by step through the whole process, whether you're a beginner, an intermediate, or even the advanced level. This class is not one of those 2-day classes where we call it the wham bam thank you ma'am class, where you're learning just to throw on components in your guides and whatnot. These are actual college courses that we started many years ago. And again, I don't tell people how old I am because I'm probably old enough to be your grandma. But many years ago, we started these out in the community colleges as courses, semester classes and stuff. So it's not, quick throw the stuff together. You're going to go more into the deep roots of rod building. For instance, you're going to learn all the fundamentals of it. You're going to learn like the power and action deflection, the difference between power and weight class, which in all the years of building rods for people, I can't tell you, there has not been one person that's, when they first started the class, understand the difference. They always cross it together, and it's actually two completely, totally different things than what people think. So we go into that aspect of it. We also go through what the materials are made of. Like, for instance, blanks. You've got all the RX4, RX6, RX8, all the way up to the RX10s. But then you also have more of the graphite fiberglass. You've got, all sorts of different materials that we teach you in these courses, so that when you're building, you know exactly what type of blank you're going to be building, what the function of that blank is for. A whole segments on different classes of blanks, as well as the materials when you go into the guides. You've got, 4 different types of materials for the frame, sometimes a little bit more. And then not just the frame, but also the guide itself, the ring. The ring also has different materials made into it. Some are great for mono, some are great for braid, some are not good for braid. But then it goes into the frame itself, where some frames are perfect, like titanium alloy frames are great for saltwater. Then you go into stainless steel. There's different types of stainless steel. Some are not great for saltwater, and some are more for freshwater. So you learn all about that stuff in these classes. And like my dad said, it's online at vaguerods.net is where you sign up. But there's just so much to rod building. One of the things that you got to also think about is when you have like 40 years of rod building, hypothetically say you have 40 or 50 years, these classes are only 15 weeks long. Some of them are 18 weeks long. It is impossible to put everything into one segment of 40 years experience. So I do have students that will come on and take the different courses, even though it's, kind of the same, but I do teach the classes. Each one's different. But I have students that have taken 4 classes or 4 courses from me that keep coming back because they say each course they learn something more. And like Captain John Fernandez from Fernandez Charters, he's been one of my students since the get-go, since we almost started online. And like he just said in the comments, that you just don't learn how to build a rod, but you'll understand the fundamentals of the blank. And he highly recommends the course.
Tiffany does kind of get into the science here. So, you're gonna learn some deep stuff. This isn't like the on-site 2-day classes. This is deep stuff. And part of the reason for that and the beauty of that is because one thing we're learning by teaching all these people and gaining all these customers, because by the way, website vaguerods.net also has rod building blanks and components at probably the best prices you're going to find anywhere. I mean, seriously below MSRP prices. We generally, on most things, we have the lowest price you will find. But we're learning that people want to be able to have a little side gig, to do this for other people, make a little bit of fishing money. Or, after they get into that, I mean, some of them end up going, hey, this is so cool. I get to work at home. I get to work my own hours. I can work all night if I want and take the daytime to go fishing or whatever. And so we're finding there's a lot of business minds coming on as students who really want to have their own little side gig or main hustle, either one going on. And so she kind of teaches to help you and prepare you to do that.
Absolutely. Hold on one second here. I got to show this commercial for Fishing Booker because it's super important. If you're going to go fishing anywhere in the world, you want somewhere to go, somebody reparable, and this is the company that's going to take care of you. Well, all righty, gang, fishingbooker.com. If you're anywhere on the planet and you want to go fishing, and I know y'all do, or you wouldn't be watching this show, wherever you are, go to fishingbooker.com, put in how many people you have, and exactly where you're at, and they'll find a boat. They'll find the best guides on the planet to take you out fishing to make your vacation even more than it already is. Fishingbooker.com has a guide and a boat for you and your family. Go to fishingbooker.com, and at the end of this, look at the QR code. Use that QR code, and you'll save $50 off your next fishing book. You can't go wrong, gang. It's gonna.
That is such good production quality in that commercial. I'm really proud of them, and that just gives me the feeling that, yeah, that's the kind of company you want to either do business with as a charter boat, or that you want to do business with as someone who's looking to get on a boat and go fishing. I like what they're doing.
Yeah, they got it going on. I mean, he's gone and grabbed a bunch of guys from all over the world. So wherever you decide to go fishing at, fishingbooker.com is going to take care of it and get you the right captain, suit you up with the right guy, the right charter boat, whatever you want to do as far as fishing goes, just kicking back, going to a beach, hanging out, whatever it is you want to do, he's got you covered. So fishingbooker.com, that's who my sister uses. Dana Orr Sport Fishing is a member of Fishing Booker. Quite a few of the landings up and down the coast are members of Fishing Booker. So if Donna's part of it, it can't be bad.
Donna's a smart lady. I believe in her.
Yep,
Awesome.
She's got it going on.
Yep.
Okay, there's something else that's below MSRP that we skipped over. Maybe you were going to come back to it, Dave. Pardon me if you were. The price of the class is like less than $10 a class.
Well, right now, the early bird special's over.
Okay.
So that ended last week, but it's still pretty low being as it's a 15-week class. So now it's $160, but you still get the a free rain shadow blank with it. So it's pretty cheap.
It's still under $10.
Yeah.
The value of the class is amazing, considering what all you get. But then you add that, oh, by the way, you get a rain shadow blank for free out of it too. And wow. Yeah.
Yeah. The price just, and how it works is, question that Creek Seeker Fishing asked if it's all kinds of rods. Yeah. How it works is in the class, everybody fishes differently. Some people fish freshwater. Some people fish saltwater. Some people fly fish. Some people fly fish freshwater. Some people fly fish saltwater. So you've got all these different types of fishermen, and not everybody's going to use the same rod. So with the free blank, we get a list of all the available blanks that are available for the free blank for the class. Some are freshwater, some are saltwater, and some are fly rods. So we go through what, each of the function of the rods are, and then you pick out which blank that you want, and then Bats and Drop ships it to you.
That's pretty damn good. And like Dave was saying, and I think this Creek guy doesn't quite understand who he's talking to here. Tiffany's probably one of the 10 best rod wrappers in the world, but other than that, you are going to get, besides the class, besides the components, you are just going to get every single thing that you need to build a rod taken care of. If you could visit her website at vaguerods.net, all the components, all the reel seats, all the ReelQuick reel seats or regular reel seats, whatever you're looking for, it's all right there at the best prices that you can possibly imagine. You go out there and check it out and go look around and check all the other spots out, but you're going to have a hard time finding it any less expensive than it is right here. And I don't want to call it cheap because it's not cheap components. The quality is there. They're the best components on the market. But for some reason, the people that make the component, they kind of like Tiffany. Gang, you don't understand. We got one of the best rod builders in the world with us right here. So it's pretty amazing. I'm pretty happy.
I'm in the right place. That's for sure.
And so's creek fishing guy. He found the right spot. If he wants to find out about rods and rod building, this is the place to be.
You know, there's
Seeker fishing.
there's a side benefit to going in a class like this that's live and interactive, because you find yourself in class with some really good people. Some of them are characters and are just a hoot and a holler. And Lisa, I'll call her out.
Lisa.
We love Lisa.
She's just kind of fun, you know, and a very smart lady. And, you know, Captain John, who has been here on the show with us, you know, he's another really good guy, him and his wife both. And so you end up meeting some just solid people with the same interests, and it starts your network. And like in everything, networking is super important. As in fishing, a lot of rod builders are very secretive, you know, at least when they start out. When they really become one of the top tier people, that need for secrecy kind of goes away.
Yeah.
You know, the top people in the world, they're not secretive anymore. They share. You know, when Tiffany became one of the top 10 rod builders in the world, yeah, that group of 10 people got together and formed like a little community, and what they share between them is just amazing. The details, the tricks, what they've learned, and all of that. So anyway, the short story is having a network of people that you can share among from there on out is really one of the major side benefits.
One of the things that we do in the class that I share as far as technique goes, like for instance, this week is marbling week. So all the classes that I'm doing right now, you know, we're in the marbling stage, and there's different phases with your mixture with marbling that creates different types of designs. For instance, a lot of people that are learning right now in the phase 1 is the mixing of the colors. So if you have like part A and part B mixing together, and you have a powder pigment and you're mixing just a small amount of powder into it, you know, whether it's going to be red, blue, green, or whatever color powder you have, the longer it sits after you've mixed it up, just like Flex Coat, Pro Coat, and any other coating, it starts hardening up, right? Well, the longer it sits, and when you go to use it, the more defined lines you have. But in the beginning, when it's a fresh mix and you have two different colors, it blends in together when you're applying it for your marbling, and whether you're using tools or different things from the house that I teach about, what you can use. You can, you know, make little designs through it, and the color mixes kind of like a swirl to it. But if you wait a little bit longer with the pigment while it starts to harden up, the swirls are more defined. Whereas when it was in the beginning of the mix, they kind of combined and create 3 or 4 different color swirls. Does that make sense?
Oh, hell yeah.
So this is what one of the things that we learn in marbling is that all the different ways, different techniques. Now, with marbling the same, you can't show or teach everything in one swoop. You can start and learn the basics of marbling and how to manipulate it to make different shapes, different styles and whatnot. But you just have to give it time. And then after you've learned all the basic fundamentals of marbling, then you can branch out on your own and come up with your own style, your own technique, and your own shapes.
I sometimes know when Tiffany is marbling because my comb goes missing. And it's because she has it out there and she's doing these fantasy patterns in her stuff there. She's building the rod. So yeah, hang on to your precious things like combs and whatnot, because people, when they start marbling, it's one of the areas of rod building where creativity just launches. You know, there's so much you can do. And those little tricks he was talking about, like, well, if you let it harden just a little bit longer, you have more defined edges. So depending on what you're trying to create, maybe you want to mix it and go for it right now, so there is some blending. Or maybe you want those defined edges, but play with them. So you go steal your dad's comb and go play with them, So all depending on what you're going to do, yeah, there's just a whole lot of possibilities there.
Yeah.
It looks like Tiffany's picture went away. Maybe
I'm going to bring her back.
You're going to bring her back?
Yeah.
There's Tiffany.
Hi. I
See how
fainted.
nice I am? Hey, check this out real quick though. I'm blown away. Don Stanley, he's a member of the website, he's been a friend for a long time. He makes these unbelievable fillet boards, David. If anybody out there has a boat and needs a fillet board, I'm telling you, this is the fillet board to go with. But look at this beautiful fillet board he just made for this big Viking that Justin's driving. It is absolutely insane. All right, gang, we constantly are talking about offshore products on our podcast and on our live fishing shows. I just want to show you something that's absolutely unbelievable. On the 61 Viking, Don Stanley, the owner of Offshore Products, was able to put together this beautiful tabletop for the bait tank, which actually flips over and becomes a fillet table. So look at that. So you can fillet your fish on the bottom of this, then put it back down on the top, and then it has the boat's name right there. Absolutely incredible. The best part about this, made in the US of A. You guys can have any size board made exactly to fit wherever you want to fit it, on the back of your boat, on the side of your boat, on the top of your bait tank. It'll cover anything you could possibly imagine, and we all need a fillet board now that we're all part of Your Saltwater Guide, because that means you're actually going to catch stuff when you go fishing, which is kind of cool. So check out offshoreproducts.com for all your fish cutting needs. So
Boy, could we have used that on our charter boat? And anybody has a charter boat, and I know Captain John's listening. That looks like, to somebody, to any boater that's catching fish, a fillet board is an important thing. To a charter boat, way more so. And I mean, that just really seriously looks like ingenuity put into practice. I like that.
Yeah, and he has the CNC table, so you can make anything you want, which is pretty amazing. I never even thought about that, but he's able to put it together any way you want. There's so many products. If you go over to his website right there on the QR code, you'll just be blown away by all the different things that he offers the private boater, or if there's charter boats, he can take care of you too.
One of the things I do is I'm sorry to interrupt, but Lisa just brought up something. In the classes towards the end, I'm always telling everybody to think outside of the box when they're doing their craft. Lisa just said those fillet boards would look good with some marbling. And then my head was just like, so, and then Captain John was talking about it's going on his Christmas list. So for Captain John, you get that for Christmas, and then have Lori marble it for you.
Yeah, you got to have a class on that, on marbling fillet boards.
Fillet boards are important. Boy, are they important,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you think you got a number of people on a boat and you're having a good day. I mean, let's say you're going rock fishing or something, and everybody's got like 10 fish, and that's a lot of work, I've seen Tiffany many times up to her knees in fish, and she's just picking up and filleting them, just boom, 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 under a minute of fish. And boy, having the right fillet board like that is just a precious thing.
Oh, absolutely. It makes all the difference in the world if you're not down on your knees like a rat eating cheese trying to fillet fish. Don Stanley is very talented, Lisa, that's for sure. But Lisa's rod's coming along just fine. The diamond wrap rod, right, Tiffany? She's doing such a great job. What a great student, right?
Just her show everybody. Do you still have the picture I sent you? Hers and John's are just phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know.
And when they get their coat of clear over them, I mean, they are just going to pop.
That's
mad.
John's.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, you know, somebody on his boat is going to pick that up and go, where did you get this? And guess what he gets to say?
I built it.
I made that.
My creation.
And then Lisa's diamond wraps. Oh, she's going off the wall on that. And her guides and her ideas that she's doing is just, it's incredible. She's never built a rod before.
Mhm.
I mean, ever in her life.
Right.
She's fished them, but she's never built them up until she started this class. And her diamond wraps, she's only what we call a 4-week-old, but the way she analyzes stuff and the way she puts everything together, she doesn't half-fast stuff. She really pays attention in class. She asks the right questions. She's, so when she sits down to do it, she's ready to do it. And her work is not a 4-week-old person. She's almost like she's been wrapping for a year, but yet this is her first rod she's ever wrapped before. And you won't realize that unless you ask her how many rods she's done, and she'll say, this is my first one.
Yeah, there's a talented person. And as good a fisher as she is, when she's using her own rods, she's going to be even that much better,
Absolutely. I don't have her picture because I threw my phone over and I'm just starting to put everything back on. But if she can send me her picture. We got time. She can send me the picture right now. I'll put it up on
Lisa,
the
hurry,
screen.
send him the picture. Rob just asked, why is the epoxy in the guide so thick? You're new to the hobby. Different people like different thicknesses. It also comes down to the look. On guides that you don't have an under wrap, it's going to look a little bit thicker on the feet. Some people like to do thin coats, so it's not going to be a thickness to it. You also have to look at the difference between what type of blanket is. If you're doing something like a 1 to 4 pound, the amount of thread you're going to use is going to be less than if you're doing an 80 to 100 pound. And the amount of flex coat, pro coat, Gen 4, Gen 5, whatever you're using, because there's so many different epoxies out there, is going to have a different level of thickness. And then it also comes down to personal preference. Some people like the look of thick coats, while others like the look of really, really thin coats. So that part boils down to the angler who's going to be using the rod and the builder, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes all the sense in the world. Are you going to send me that picture, Lisa? Hurry. You're on here. I see you. Hey, some guy named Rock wants to know, why is the epoxy on the guide so thick? I'm new to the hobby.
That's what I was just talking about, was the epoxy.
Okay.
It basically boils down to, personal preference. Some people like bubble looked. Some people like actually the teardrop look. Some people like really thin coats. Some people like really thick coats. Now, how the coating dries will also determine the length or the level of your blank as it's forming into a rod. If you have your blank tilted this way a little bit, it'll tend to draw your epoxy down, giving it a little bit of a teardrop. It can also happen that way when you put on a coat that's too thick. But again, back to the question, depending on how thick you put your epoxy on is going to dictate the thickness that it dries on.
And I'll add to that your intended use of that rod drives some of that decision too. If you want a really light casting rod, you're probably going to go with real thin coats to keep from adding weight to it. If you're doing a fly rod, here too, really thin coats. If you're doing like an offshore rod that's going to take a lot of abuse, or if you're a commercial angler who, when you're bounce balling for halibut and you get it up and you grab your rod and you just throw it on the deck as you net or gap that halibut, then you probably want thicker coats on there because you got durability things that you're asking that rod to survive, a little bit on your intended use as well.
Right. I'm getting those pictures up right now. So go
You're
ahead.
welcome, Rock. I'll see you on Saturday's class. Can't wait to meet all these people Saturday.
What time Pacific time zone is that class? You got people from all across the country and Canada and everywhere else. But.
Yeah. Pacific Coast time is going to be 9 a.m. Saturday morning. So if you're on the East Coast, it'll be noon. If you're in a different country, depending on what zone you're in.
Yeah.
We have people from different countries in some of the classes. Like we've got people from Canada, just different countries from different time zones. It's a lot of fun. And it's fun to watch the people as the class goes. They form connections with each other. And, when you have people in Canada, people here, people from Mexico, people from a different country, they form a bond together and, they work with each other all the time with rod building. And it's really fun to watch that.
Might even get some invitations to come go fishing.
Yeah.
All right. Check this out.
Isn't that gorgeous? 4 weeks.
She's never done it before. That's quite amazing. I'm blown away.
4 weeks. I am so proud of her.
As beautiful as that is, when that coat of clear goes on top of that, it is just going to pop in such a stunning fashion.
Yeah, it'll bring a tear to her eye. It'll definitely bring a tear to her eye, and then that's going to be a gift for someone, and that's pretty spectacular right there to have a rod made by your spouse.
Oh, she's in trouble now.
Yep, that's
beautiful
pretty
work,
amazing.
Lisa. Beautiful work.
I'm so proud of you, girl. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, well, don't think she's going to stop. I mean, she's been a part of the family here for a while, and she's just getting started. So we're in for some spectacular fades and all kinds of different stuff she's going to make starting out. That's going to be
one of the
special.
things on the diamond wrap that I taught was a very magical thing called color preserver. When you first do your beginning stages, what we call the X's, you put a drop of the color preserver in the center of that X, kind of let it go outside of the lines a little bit. And then when you start your diamonds part of the wrapping and you're tucking that line right next to your X line, it holds it there and it doesn't loosen up on you. A lot of times when people are doing diamond wraps and they're wrapping that, the tension varies. So it'll start loosening up and you'll have gaps in between the thread. But when someone's first learning how to do a diamond wrap, I have them put color preserver, and that keeps everything side by side intact.
Well, that's going to be pretty bitchin'. I can't wait to see the end product. And hey, gang, we got something to talk about here for a few more minutes. We are going to have Tiffany and David adjacent to our booth at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Festival, which has been a big event for me for a very, very long time as far as speaking goes and signing people up. And I've been a part of the show since the very, very first show when there was just a half a hall and there was some of us having a seminar and that was it. And it's going to be pretty spectacular. I mean, things are going to be happening this year. It's going to, it's going to be next year, but I'm excited about thinking it's already this year. But we're going to, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine how busy it's going to be. My booth has been fully busy all the time, but now to take the rod building into this, and Daniel will be there, it'll be like this. It'll be you and David and Daniel and and then me and my guys, and we're all going to be in the booth showing off everything that can possibly be. We got it all covered. We just take the side rails off and just kind of wander around the booth. It's going to be incredible. It's just going to be one whole aisle of Your Saltwater Guide.
That is going to be fun. It's going to be epic. That's such a great show, a busy time, you know, and God, all those people, I mean, get to see what you do, get to see all the involved stuff, you know, and meet you and us, and you know, it's just gonna be fun.
And I'll bring my Precious.
It's gonna be a blast.
My Precious is coming with me. Precious is my Keurig.
Oh, okay.
That's my Precious.
I'm like, what? You're bringing your husband? What?
No. Husband is not Precious. My Precious is my Keurig, my coffee. I can't live without it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're all going to be there. It's going to be pretty magical. There's going to be some other things that we can announce later on, but we've inked it that Dave and I are going to be side by side, and we're going to drag Tiffany along. You guys are going to get to see Kelly Girl every year at the show. It's just going to be an absolutely magical time. And you guys, you know how the show is. It's so busy all the time anyway, 4 days. And then we're going to go to San Diego and do it. So it's just going to be magical.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty bitchin'. Going to be pretty dang cool. And everybody, don't forget, if you're traveling anywhere in the world, if you're going on a cruise, if you're going anywhere and you want to try to find a fishing boat to go on, go to fishingbooker.com. Check it out. And that QR code, I'll throw it up on the screen again. If you do decide to book a trip and you want to go on a boat somewhere, you save $50 off the first trip by using my QR code at fishingbooker.com. And I don't know, got anything else to bring to the table, David or Tiffany?
You know,
or Daniel?
There's a gadget that I'm sort of fascinated and to some degree enthralled with, and that is the microwave guide. Raise your hand. I don't care if we can see you or not. Raise your hand out there if you've used a rod with microwave guides. Yeah, Tiffany sure has. She's built a number of them.
I don't even know what they are. What are they?
Base guide. It's you know, you got the circle, right? The guide. And then inside that, there's a smaller circle kind of protruding towards the end of the rod. And it looks like, well, that's going to mess up my cast. And it does exactly the opposite. This is really more, it can be used spinning or conventional, but I think its magic is for spinning, because, you know, you got a rod and a spinning reel goes this way with the line coming off the spool, you know, and circular, and it gets up to that first eye, and that's where it's kind of got to taper down. And you think if it's still the big loop, it's going to rub against the guide, which would detract from your distance, which it would. But somehow these microwave guides with that little ring inside the main ring, it focuses that. And what I think makes it work is the Venturi effect. I think it actually creates a Venturi effect and just sucks that line down through the guide. And you'll notice when you're casting, if you normally cast something, say 40 yards, you're going to get 50, 55, maybe even 60 yards out of it, 50 at least. They just cast better, especially for spinning outfits. Tiffany, what do you think of them?
I made the top 10 in the world with those guides, so I kind of like them.
Well, that's a good point.
And the Bill Varney series guides that we've used, those on the Bill Varney series rods too. I've known that, people are not, it's kind of new to everybody, even though they've been around for a while. But everybody that I've put these guides on, especially with the spinning, the further they cast further with less effort. A lot of people that, now this is going to sound funny, that are in physical therapy, that have to start, using your shoulders from, like different type of shoulder surgeries. They'll have me build these rods so they can go hit the beach and just cast and cast and cast. And they say that it's less stress on their shoulder. They're able to fish, cast further. It's not heavy like some of the guides are, so they're able to last longer. So all in all, I think they're really, really good guides. Just a lot to them. And like you said, and I think the other thing with it is, the big spinning guides, every time that line whips against it, it's taking the momentum away from the casting distance. With your Arturi effect, when it goes straight through it and it zips through, there's nothing that's taking the endurance away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it.
Nice. Well, I understand it now. I'm not going to go out and buy a spinning rod, but okay. All right, gang. Well, thank you very much for being on the show today. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Turn off the news. Tomorrow we have Bonnie Brady, Bonnie Brady joining us tomorrow. I'm talking windmills or wind turbines on the East Coast, how they've been killing all the whales and doing everything, and how we're rounding the bend. We're going to find out. She is a commercial fisherman. Her husband's a commercial fisherman. They've been deep in the commercial fishing industry for a very long time, but she's a very big advocate of working to keep fishing open on the East Coast. We're going to have her as our guest tomorrow, talking about these wind turbines and where we're at, and where the Trump administration and everybody else that's kind of trying to shut down this thing, what's going on, where we're at, and all that stuff. So we'll find out about all that tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining us today. Turn off the news. They're all lying. This is the only place you get the truth, and I'll